Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League, Round 5, more from Mugello. I'm JP. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Tom Cairns here this evening to tackle this Grand Prix circuit. 3.259 miles, 5.245 kilometres. The format we're in, on the layout that we're in at the moment, was from 1991. Track going from 74 to 90 was a little bit of a different layout. Not much, mind you, but a little bit. So keep an eye out for some of this great action racing here this evening at the same time. Let's have a look at the championship standings. As always, we only cover the top 20. Jesper Sandstrom, Lee Aberdeen tied on points on 128. Mackenzie Roon on 123. Brent Ruiz 122. Andy Flint 115. Antonio Jimenez 111 with Luca Verani in 7th. Very, very close in that top 7. Then you got Ludovic Rancon, Dennis Cornu, Joseph Mark Lucas, Jakub Bolozwinski, Adrian Centurion, Simon Fessi, Nguyen, and Eddie Amos rounding out the top 15. Chris Pat in 16th, then Robert Tilbury, and then Adam Townsma, and then Yunus Amal, Dorian Aruro round out the top 20. That's going to be an interesting thing. Keep an eye out of that one. Out of the two of Sandstrom and Aberdeen, who have we got? We have got Aberdeen. A lot of people doing D24 this weekend. We've got a shorter grid, say short. We've got 38 drivers, but it's probably not as big as it would have been if D24 were on. I know a lot of people haven't done any practice for this. I know Andy Flint sent me a message earlier on as well. We will try to put on a show. Few of us have done 0 Super Formula laps this week until now after being for the D24. So we'll see how this one pans out. I've got Tom Cairns alongside me in the booth. Let's bring him in. Tom, welcome in.
Mugello, what a brilliant racetrack it is. So undulating with plenty of fast corners, which the drivers most certainly would love to navigate their way through. And brilliant scenery as well. It's almost like Ferrari's backyard, really, with all the not tranquility, but all the sort of mountainous areas surrounding the circuit. It's kind of a little bit of them, a little bit, but it is what it is. As this circuit has been around since I think it's since the early 20th. Yeah, well, I think it might have been closer a little bit, or broke ground in 1973 and then opened in 74. Yes, you're right. So it's been open for 50 years, more or less. It'll be 51 this year, but home of the MotoGP race, the Italian one that is, Formula 1 Tuscan Grand Prix as well, European Le Mans, World Superbikes are used to host, the FIM EWC DTM, the World Sports Car Championship, and the FIA GT. So it's safe to say Mugello has put on a lot of action in various different categories across the world of motorsport.
Yeah, one of the things I have done. Good evening, Mackenzie Roon. Welcome in, dear sir. I'll be tuning in. Why are you not on the racetrack? Are you tired from D24, my little chicken? Do you need a little bit of hugging? I have done this circuit. I've driven this in the Aussie V8s. And let's just say it's very, very tough indeed. Okay, there's a lot of fast corners. There's a lot of corners that come back at the same time that you've really got to be careful on. This is one of them, okay? You have to be careful going around the right-hander. Then now this, you can run full flat, take curb on the right, curb there, curb on the exit, and now you're coming in for Buccini, which is a long turn all the way back on yourself, downhill at the same time. Start braking, bringing the car in. Now you can start throttling out because you've got that wide exit curb on the right-hand side. Now you're hurtling down the start-finish straight. It is a very, very tough circuit to drive. Now, don't get me wrong, at the time it was the Gen 2 supercars. I drove it in one of the toughest cars in iRacing. Not the most easiest car to get to grips with, but this circuit itself is very, very hard indeed. Very up and down, very undulating going in, lots of tricky corners, lots of late acceleration at the same time. These guys are really, really going to have to be on top of their game for this one.
Absolutely. There's no room for mistakes, really. There may be a lot of gravel, but one mistake can ruin your race, essentially, given how big the field really is. We're looking at the Canadian currently running 13 plays. That is Adam Telsma, who heads for the pits. Safe in the nose that qualifying is over Lee Aberdeen fastest. Not by a long way, though. Oh, I say a long way. It's 2.5 tenths, but it feels like a lot of time given how close the field really is here.
Yeah, absolutely. At the same time, this is Sean Pulsifer. Now, Sean messaged me during the week. He said, James, it's not fire. say Sean Pulsifier every week. It's not fire, it is fur. So Sean Pulsifier, okay? Not Pulsifier. So that is down on me. Mackenzie was too exhausted, bless his little cotton socks. It's been tough. George, my boy, ran it as well. His team started down in 34th and they finished in 5th in GT3 class. So good job for him. Let's bring you up the grid. When it finishes doing weird things. Lee Aberdeen will be in first place and Tony Jimenez in second. Luca Barani up in third. Go, Luca. Brent Ruiz in fourth, then Stephen Dodderer fifth. A lot of it Rancon sixth, then Daniel Vogel seventh, and Robert Tilbury in eighth. Simon Fessy ninth, Chris Patel in 10th, Andy Flint in 11th, and Bardin Iron down in 12th place. Must be new to the series. John McCutchinson down in 13th, Juan Moreno in 14th, Vimala Rabelard, Bart-Jan van der Laan, and Fran Carvalho in 17th. Darren Machabavanga, in 18th. Joseph Mark Lucas 19th, with Dennis Cornu down in 20th. Then you've got Eddie Amos, Clark Williams, Mohammed Abisi, and John McKenzie rounding out the 24. Jonathan Conzola, Giovanni Salito, Ben Goyer, Ali Nasser, Oscar Artinanu, and Jean Carvalho in 30th. Then Loris Baylor, Zoltan Zamada, Adam Townsma, Dorian Rurro, Joshua Edwards, and Didier Savard round out the 36. Matthew Gracie, Sean Pulsifer, Stephen Brown, 37, 38, and 39 respectively. Purple Zone goes out to turn 3. So be aware they cannot overtake until they get past turn 3. Okay, the magenta zone. So it will be single file right till then. Now, if you're looking at the trap, it is the top left-hand corner that they are not allowed to overtake till they get round, which is Poggio Seiko. So they go down turn 1, they go left, then they go right, and then they're free to overtake. Lee Aberdeen sitting on pole position, looking like the beast that he has been. No Jesper Sandström here, unfortunately, to give the challenge, but I'm sure Tony Jimenez will want to put in the fight. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The lights are going to be coming on very, very shortly indeed. 4, 5. It is green, green, green here. Lee Aberdeen got off the line, but Tony Jimenez got an absolute flyer alongside him. And coming down into turn number 1, you can see Jimenez on the right-hand side. He's got to stay there. He can't overtake Aberdeen, but he clearly got off the line a lot better. Through the right-hander of turn 2. Now coming into the left-hander of 3. Luca Varani sitting in there at the same time. Now they're free to overtake, and this is where Jimenez really, Tom, did not need that magenta zone. He got such a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimenez nearly got the jump on it, but the problem was Aberdeen on pole was going to have the inside line for the right-hander of San Donato. You say no active overtakes for the first 3 corners. Well, I can say you, Fran Carvajal made up 7 positions, and he's already up into 10th place. Great start by him.
Yeah, not entirely sure if that's going to be completely legal. I'm hoping he read the briefing and realised that you can't actually actively overtake. But, you know, we'll see how he gets on. Luca Varani sitting in 3rd. Through the left-hander they go at this moment in time. And coming into Corinteo, the long looping right-hander through Biandetti 1 and 2, which is the fast left, right, and then they'll come into Buccini, which will be the end of the first lap. You can take curb on the left, curb on the right here. Luca Barani sitting in 3rd. Great qualifying for him.
Absolutely, and Barani will want to get on the job and just staying in touch with Jimenez and Aberdeen in the early stages. 29 laps it is round here. It's 151 kilometres long. We've got 2 casualties, or 1 at least anyway. Jonathan Cazorla out already. He's back in the pit lane. John Hudson, who started 13th on the go, is way down the order. And now we're seeing Varane go for it on Jimenez. And it's easier said than done before they get to the first right-hander.
Yeah, down into turn 1 they go. Varane on the outside. Jimenez has been left there. Brent Ruiz trying to follow him through the right-hander, through the left-hander. Luco coming into Poggio Seiko. The right-hander now. Varane up into 2nd. Ruiz also got Jimenez, and it's Jimenez is down into 4th place, unfortunately for them. And very, very tough for Tony Jimenez. Through the right-hander they go. They're coming into Casanova Savelli. Luca Varane will be very happy about pronouncing that correctly, as he corrected me last season. He told me it wasn't Casanova and Savelli. James, you have to say it together. And there goes Stefan Dodderer off the side of the circuit. I do want to have a look back, see what happened to John McCutchinson here. Goes round the right. Oh, back end goes round. All the way down the order for John.
Yeah, that was at Arabiata 2 where John made that mistake. That very, very bad error by him. So long to go in this race. So let's see if John can actually make his way back through the field. Obviously, Mohamed Yakin had a mistake also on the second lap or at the end of the first. He's down at the back. He's lost a ton of positions. We are looking at Ludovic Rancon, who's coming towards Bacchini for the second time. He is in 6th place behind Stefan Dodderer, who made that mistake on the entry to Arabiata 1. So Rancon will not want to hang around for too much longer. He'll get into the slipstream. It's a long straight, this, so you would expect the slipstream to really come into its own, and Rancon is demonstrating that now.
Yeah, through the left-hander he goes. There goes Dodderer on the right-hand side. Is Rancon going to be able to hold it for Unity Racing down into turn 1? He's looking like he's on the money at the moment. They're still side by side. Dodderer held that inside line. Rancon's going to try to cut back. Can't get it through the left-hander. What about Interpogio Sege? Nothing there at all that Ludovic Rancon could do. Dodderer just put his car in the right place. Did an exceptional job in defending. Took the inside line for turn 1. Always going to be difficult when you're trying to run on the outside of a turn like that.
Yeah, so Rancon just having to yield to Dodderer on that occasion. Carvajal's made up another position. He's into 9th place now past Simon Fessy, and he's got Robert Tilbury closing up. Well, he'll be closing on him momentarily. They've got what looks like a retirement, unless it's a connection thing, and it's the debutant, or one of the debutants this season, called Bahadin Iron, and we may get a replay of that, but we're looking at Majibunga. No, that's dangerous.
Clark Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, and he ended up on his roof. So he was just sat there minding his own business after doing his spin like that, and then all of a sudden, bang, and now around we go, up and down, and we're now facing the floor, and then we end up back in pit lane. So not good from them guys. I have now just got a complete and utter black screen. This is wonderful. Let's see if we can try that one again. Not entirely sure what happened there, but it did all of a sudden go a little bit Pete Tong. But unfortunately for Machabavanga, he is out. It looks like Clark Williams jumped straight back to pit lane. Mohamed Abbasi has also been off the side of the circuit at the same time. Lots of casualties going off. Eddie Amos taking a trip at the end as well. So lots happening here. Badun Iron still carrying on, but he's got Chris Patel right in front of him.
Yeah, so Iron, who we thought it might have been hitting connection issues, is still in the fray here. He's in 13th position behind 2 Americans of Andy Flint and Chris Patel, and there's no way he's going to find a way through turn number 4. There's only really one designated overtaking spot around this racetrack of Mugello, and that's at San Donato, the first corner, and it looks like a lot more drivers are kicking up gravel right there. Yeah, that is Arroyo, isn't it?
Yeah, Dorian Arroyo. I think that's got something to do with Stephen Brown, though. They were almost trying to wow.
Wow, that was not his corner, was it?
No, definitely not. And Aruro does that, and then unfortunately comes back on track and goes round. That definitely was not his corner. That was a demanded of space that was nowhere there whatsoever. So definitely do not be looking to do that again, because it never worked out the first time. Daniel Vogel, who's sitting in the middle of the pack with the Unity Racing of Ludovic Rancon, Dodderer, Jimenez, Varani, Ruiz and Aberdeen. Aberdeen kind of escaping second down the road. Ali Nasir, good luck, lads. He's sitting currently 24th place is Ali, normally in YouTube chat, but he's out on the track here this evening, doing a great job, sitting in 24th, up 4 places. So fair play, Ali. As Jimenez and Varani run down into turn 1.
Yeah, this is Jimenez, who's trying to get back through on Ferrari round the outside into San Donato. Fastest up of the race from Andy Flint, who's in 10th position. Dodderer through on Ranson at the same time. So overtakes are happening left, right and centre as we are now on lap number 5 here in Mugello, just close to the city of Florence in Italy, in the area of Tuscany, hence why it was known as the Tuscan Grand Prix when Fulham raced there in 2020. But now we're looking at Vanderlaan, who is in a battle with Thibaut Rabillard, and it looks like a textbook overtake there, and very nicely done, it has to be said.
Around the outside for Bart-Jan Vanderlaan, great job from him. Round he went and got the job done, and so he'll be able to make his way forward into Joseph Mark Lucas. You can see this Brent Ruiz has got into second place, but it's here at the moment. It's Jimenez, Varani, Dodderer, Rancon and Vogel that are all mixing in together. Tilbury's in there at the same time. Simon Fessy trying to get onto the back, coming off that great third place last time out at Phillip Island that was won by Lee Aberdeen, with Brent Ruiz in second, Fessy in third. So he did a great job from there. Coming back into ninth place, Oscar Artinanu has just unfortunately taken a trip off the side of the circuit. But this group is like 9 cars strong, including Brent Ruiz sitting in second.
Well, Brent Ruiz is in a battle of his own with race leader Lee Aberdeen, so Brent Ruiz might as well just focus on what's in front of him as opposed to behind, because those behind are going to be in a battle of their own. We just see Ferrani and Jimenez go toe-to-toe into San Donato. Who's going to be the braver of the two? It's Ferrani on this occasion, and sure, that's going to give him the high ground for turn number 2, and, well, he's got the move on before he's even got to the corner.
Yeah, we talk about Luca Ferrani and needing a bit more grrr out of Mr. Ferrani. We saw it then. I'm proud of you, Luca. Definitely proud of you on that one. That was a great move round the outside. Jimenez there. Got to try and settle back down again, because Doddora's coming at him, and Doddora's coming at him at an absolute rate of knots. Tucked in right in front of us is Tony Jimenez. We've just taken a little bit of a divert off the grass, now into the double right-hander here. Through that we go, Arabiata 1 and Arabiata 2. And into Scarperia, the downhill. You can take a lot more curb on the inside if you're brave. Take curb on the exit. Now you're going to get on the accelerator. Now you're coming into the right-hander, the long looping right-hander, coming all the way back on yourself. Downhill, set it up for the late apex. Get on the gas there. So great job from all of these guys. Great action all the way through. Doddora closing into Jimenez. Varani got the bit between his teeth this evening, which is great to see. But all the while, these two are battling. It's 2.4 seconds to Brent Ruiz now.
Ferrani, the cork in the bottle out of all those fighting that final podium position. And we're only approaching the end of lap 6. And Aberdeen, not as dominant as we thought it might have been. Brent Ruiz keeping him honest. He's just posted a new fastest up of the race. Does Brent Ruiz a 1:36.2. I think that's slightly faster than what Lee Aberdeen had posted for his pole position time in qualifying. So Ruiz is very much coming alive as we are continuing to thicken in this race, with the top two just fighting now, keeping the race going as it is. Looking further down the orders to find if there's any more drama. It doesn't seem to be. Jonathan Casola has continued on. He's got going in this race, albeit he's run about a lap or two behind the rest.
Yeah, he is. You can see Giovanni Salito and Ben Goyet are literally swapping places. They're side by side through turn 3. Got the job done on the outside there. And Giovanni Salito over Ben Goyet. Ben not going to chance it, kind of come up the inside. So a great move from Giovanni Salito. That's always got Loris Beher in behind him. Actually, I do wonder if that is a back marker in behind that. No, it is Beher. He is Beher tucked in right behind him as well. So Bella there trying to get onto the back of these two as they continue to fight down. This is for 20th, 21st and 22nd. So a great job from them. There's Joshua Edwards and Adam Townsma a nose to tail behind that. And Juan Moreno and Matthew Gracie. Steve Moreno's just gone up the inside, and that's Zoltan Zamoda trying to come back through the field. Ruiz not really closing on Aberdeen at the moment. Still around about teetering on a second. But it's this gaggle of cars here, Tom. Have we got this first kind of draft train effect that we see happening?
It looks that way, doesn't it? And Tilbury is looking to find a way through around the outside of what looks like Dan Vogel into turn number 1 here. But
Three
Vogel
wide.
is on, yeah, 3 wide. Yeah, there's a lunge on the inside there. That's Simon Fessy going through on Vogel. Has he got the outside line through Loco? It looks like he's done it.
Yeah. Simon Fessy, big and brave there. You can see, but we were briefly touched 3 wide with Robert Tilbury, Fessy and Vogel. It looks like Giovanni Salito, as I just turned around and said, he's having a great race. Unfortunately, he's facing in the opposite direction. John McCutcheon getting his way back through the field now in 27th place. Ben Goyet there slowing down. I do wonder if them two have had their own little bit of a ta-ta-ta-ta, because Ben would not be slowing down like that if there was any innocence going in. Is there any innocence? No. Salito comes out wide and shoots Ben Goyet down the other way. I'm not really sure why or how Ben feels that could be his fault, to be blatantly honest. There's no reason I can see that it was be his fault, apart from the fact that Salito missed the apex.
Well, whilst we've been watching that, James, Robert Tilbury is back in the pit lane because he's been involved in some shenanigan. I couldn't quite tell which driver it was he's been involved in. This is Simon Fessy. Yeah, it's a spin. It's a spin at Arabiata 1.
That looked absolutely spectacular from Tilbury. He's on the grass. Look, just round. He kicks it up off the AstroTurf. Fessy's got nowhere to go, praying he's going to get out the way. And then, unfortunately, they got linked together. And then they shoot each other off. Nice pirouette there. But I can tell you one thing. Fessy was probably holding on there for dear life, thinking that he might be able to miss that.
Shame. They almost look like identical cars as well. They almost look like teammates have come together. But I can tell you that's not the case. They are racing for themselves, those two. We're now looking at Andy Flint, who's had a spirited race so far. He did have the fast lap. Now that's in the way of his compatriot, Brent Maurice. But Flint keeping himself in the fray in 10th place. He could all of a sudden snatch something positive out of this one. Aberdeen, in terms of his lead, it's come down to around about 3/4 of a second over Ruiz, but the top two in a league of their own at the front, while Jimenez is just doing his best to hold off the rest for that final podium spot.
Yeah, Flint saying he's done no practice this week. He's been all D24, D24 and D24. Well, he's not doing too badly, sitting 10th for the moment for Andy Flint. Stefan Dodderer, I do agree with you, Mackenzie. He has got quicker as the weeks has gone on. He's got quicker and quicker and quicker every single time we see him. And now he's sitting in 5th place, and a well-deserved 5th place. Once again, there's only him, Ludovic Rancon, Vogel and Aberdeen who have not changed positions in the top 10. And a great job from Stefan Dodderer. He has got Ludovic Rancon behind him. One of the ways to turn the tail to Unity boys behind him is the halo. You can see Ludovic Rancon is white. And if we were to jump onto Simon Fessy, you can see it's red. So the Unity boys there are dark red, and then Denny Cornu, who's in front of him from the Unity, is kind of that same colour, maybe a little bit lighter. So it would be nice if Cornu and Fessy changed their halos just a little bit. Is Fessy going to have a go down into turn 1? It's a long run from Buccini down into San Donato. I think that's the thing here. You know, that straightaway is nice and long and does set you up well for turn 1.
It does. It goes back to what I was saying about the slipstream effect on that long straight. And Cornu holding off Fessy for the time being. I'm amazed that Fessy was able to continue after the collision he had with Tilbury at Arabiata 1. And now he'll just want to get by Cornu sooner rather than later. And it's turning into a rather interesting race. And we're on lap number 10 out of 29, so we're around about a third of the way through. We've had a lot of drama already, and we could well be getting a whole lot more before this race is over.
Yeah, we could well do. I'm just wondering if Denny Cornu here is doing not the right thing and holding up Fessy. Fessy's clearly quicker. He was up further up the grid and clearly on the pace, but what does Cornu do? That's going to be the question. If I was Fessy, I'd be waving at him frantically out the car. Not that he can. I'm hoping they're in their own voice chat here, and Fessy's there telling Cornu to excuse me sir, but can you remove yourself from my way, because clearly Fessy is quicker than Cornu. But is Cornu going to yield, do we think, Tom, or is he just looking like he's just going to stay in the way?
Well, he's within range to attack, so I don't think...
There he goes.
Cornu, yeah, he's going to go through now, it's Fessy. So it shouldn't be a contest between these two. He'll need to get into the slipstream, though, to get all the speed down the straight if he can. Cornu not making it easy, though, but at the end of the day, they are fighting for position.
245, 46, 48 kilometres an hour there. There is Denny Cornu. Fessy's managed to get through and clear it. So great job from Simon Fessy. As I said, he was naturally quicker than Cornu and was up further up the grid. So I'm surprised it took that long. 22 degrees track temperature, 19 degrees air temperature, a little bit overcast, and it's 20 to 3 in the afternoon. It looks like Ludovic Rancon has just unfortunately taken a trip off the side of the circuit, but came back on and just not long after. Oh, he's going to run wide. There we go. Spits up the dust, spits up the dirt, and gets himself back on the racetrack ready to go as he continues to fight with Dodderer, who continues to fight, should we say, with Luca Varani. Both men having a great race this evening.
Very much so, and Dodderer is stepping up his game, as you've rightly mentioned, all over the back of Varani, but he's not quite within range to really make a lunge into San Donato. You could just see how much of the inside. He's taken that inside curve. I don't know if he intended to do that or whether he just had a bit of oversteer or something, but he's still keeping Varani honest through Pacini, and they're heading down the pit straight once more. I don't expect Dodderer to make a move this time around.
No, but he will get close. He will get very, very close here for Stefan Dodderer. He is going to make it. Varani's opened up the inside for him. Dodderer move. Oh, dearie me, that was a little bit close. Bit of a late move there from Dodderer. Not sure why Varani would open up the inside there. Tom, I'm a little bit miffed by that one. I'm sure he's got his reason, as he always does, but it's just a little bit miffing.
Well, Dodderer has found his way through, nevertheless. Varani down to 5th place, and there is the Dutchman in the yellow and black liveried machine through on the Swiss, and the next man he can go after is Tomin Jimenez, who'll be relieved that they had their battle because it's helped give Jimenez a little bit of a buffer for the time being.
It has 1.3 seconds up the road for Tony. A little bit rank on still in there. Then we've got a second pack. Chris Patel, Andy Flynn, Baden Iron, Frank Carvajal, Daniel Vogel is the leader of this one as they start closing in. John McKenzie closing in with Denny Cornu, Eddie Amos, Giovanni Salito, Gracie Townsworth, McHutchinson are closing in on Zoltan Zamotta, who is a little bit further up the road. So all of these packs starting to come back together here. I know John was messaging me earlier on. We were talking about tyre life, and then basically he was saying he was really struggling to get any more than about 17 laps out before the tyres went all a bit wrong. Then messages me saying that the track is a lot cooler, so it might settle down and extend the tyre life. And then he messaged me saying he can't even do 10 laps without crashing. Well, he made it through didn't even make it through lap 1, bless him.
Well, at least he's recovering now. He's in 22nd place, is John McHutchison. Where did he start on the grid again? He started in P13, didn't he? So he's coming back through the field nicely now, is McHutchison, which is great to see. And how long will it take for him to get by Zoltan Zamotta? He's not too far ahead. You can just see the picture in the background there. And I think we've just seen an overtake involving what looks like Vanderlan on Patel. He's into 12th place, and I think we're going to get a reason why, James, because Patel has hit trouble.
Yeah, he definitely has. This is what he's done.
Oh dear.
That was because there was a checkup in front of that, and I do wonder, it wasn't Adam Townsma, it was the other Scudiera. It wasn't Andy Flynn. Who was in front of Chris Patel at a moment in time there? Number 13.
So that would be Andy Flynn. It was Andy Flynn.
It was Andy Flynn. It was involved in that. And it looks like Chris has just unfortunately taken himself down into pit lane. So Chris Patel there, down in pit lane. Simon Fessi closing in on Rabillard. Flint is dropping down the order. He's got nothing left in that car. I think it's broke. He's had to jump back to pit lane on that one.
He'll have suffered rear wing damage from the contact, James, so that's why he's had to pull off on that occasion.
Yeah. Well, we saw the rear wing shoot off, but then obviously we saw it magnetise back on at the same time. So I'm guessing he probably knows there's something wrong. Dodderer now going to have a go back at Luca Varani, down into turn 1 again. Varani again opening up that inside door, and again Dodderer goes through. They had swapped back again throughout the last lap, and Luca Varani had gone back through, but Dodderer passed him once more. So yeah, great job from Stefan Dodderer, closing back in, gets past Luca Varani, and again Varani opens up the inside line.
Yeah, I wonder why Varani keeps doing that, because it feels like it's too kind of him to just leave the inside open, not just through San Donato, but the subsequent corners after that. He should really make it more difficult for Dodderer, but then he's concerned about if he starts fighting with Dodderer, then he's allowing the top three to shoot further up the distance.
Well, that's the philosophy, I think, from Mackenzie Road in YouTube chat as well. He basically says that there's no point in fighting. He knows it's a long race, and, you know, he wants to catch Tony and things like that. But surely, to a degree, you turn around and realise at some point, no point, I'm not going to catch him.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to know what his game is. He's probably thinking more about the championship at this rate. I don't know if Mugello is his favourite circuit after all. There are a lot of other circuits that the iGP Super Formula iGPFun, I should say, Super Formula, or however you want to pronounce it. But Dodderer just about keeping his nose in front, but now he's exposed. He's exposed himself to Ferrani, so Ferrani should take advantage of this.
Yep. Again, Dodderer opens up that inside line, and again, Ferrani goes through. These two setting their personal best lap with Rancon in the background. They're swapping every lap. Rancon's gone and absolutely beast moded it from a long way back. He's not going to make it through, but good blimey, he had a good old go there, Tom. That was from a long way back from Rancon.
Yeah, so it was well worth a go, and he's got plenty more chance to do it next time around. And going back to what I was saying about the calendar, we've got Monza, Interlagos, Jerez, Montreal, Imola, Red Bull Ring, and Zandvoort to finish the season, and that's a car going slow. I'm sure that's a bat marker, actually.
Ali Nasser just been lapped, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a long race for him from there, so he'll just hope that others fall by the wayside and just take advantage and get some points out of this. But the battle for fourth is definitely coming alive, don't you think? Yeah,
absolutely. Tony Jimenez driving around kind of a little bit in no man's land. He's 5 seconds to the guys in front, 1.2 up the road from these battling three. Just see him going over the crest there. So Jimenez escaping a little bit for Team SRP, but he's going to have to be on it here, because I can tell you one thing, these guys are closing, but it's not going to help Dodderer's cause if Ludovic Rancon keeps trying to fight with them. That's the question. You can understand the Ferrani swapping with Dodderer because they were doing it in a safe place. Nobody was really holding each other up. Ferrani had opened up the inside. Dodderer went through. Next lap, they swapped it back again. But Ludovic Rancon getting himself into the mix at the same time is going to be really putting pressure on you. You can see that Dodderer and Rancon have already lost time to Ferrani, so they kind of need to go back to working together again, don't they?
Well, you would think so, and they're going to need to work as hard as they can to just get onto the rear of Jimenez, because otherwise they're going to be running out of time to make amends. This has been one of Rancon's best races that I've seen him do, James. You know, he's already got a 6th place finish in Watkins Glen a couple of races ago, and he's showing his feet today. He's leading fifth position, so this is probably the best I've seen him since I've commentated on this particular series.
Yeah, a little bit Rancon doing a great job. He's got to try and now pull Dodderer back into Luca Ferrani, who they kind of were with and then started battling and are now dropped away from. John McKenzie has got the Unity racer Denny Cornu in front of him, so McKenzie closing in on Cornu. Cornu looks a little bit off the pace here this evening.
Yeah, it looks like he's falling away, and I think since Simon Fessi got by him, Cornu has just not been anywhere at it. I mean, he's lucky enough that a lot of the top runners like Jesper Sandstrom isn't racing this evening, and we've seen a few others like Andy Flint drop out and all that, but I think in terms of his on merit, he hasn't exactly shown the true pace that we've seen from him in previous races. And the fact that John McKenzie's got onto the rear of him, and we don't often see McKenzie at this part of the field from time to time, to my knowledge anyway. But yeah, like you say, Corno's just not been at it this evening.
So he definitely hasn't. John McKenzie there with a 34th and 19th and a 31st. So, yeah, he's a little bit higher up than where he has been. And obviously, at the moment, dropping Catalunya and Watkins Glen, where he was not at. And points from VIR, where he finished 19th, Phillip Island 31st. So, McKenzie up into the dizzy heights of the top 15 for the first time all season. Let's just see and hope he can finish there. But John McKenzie beat his best finish of the season, so great job from him. Van der Laan is trying to escape from the Unity Racing Simon Fessi. Fessi coming at him quite quick, though.
Yeah, Fessi coming alive now, and it's amazing to see him actually get back into a competitive rhythm following the contact he had with Robert Tilbury a number of laps ago. I was amazed that his car is still at a good state, a reasonable state at least anyway, and he's now approaching the rear of Van der Laan for P11.
The question will be, what will Van der Laan do? Will Van der Laan defend it? Will he not defend it? Will he get, just take the position, take the points that he is going to get. I'm hoping, for us point of view, that Van der Land does try and defend it. I think that's the thing. He needs to show that he can hang with the big boys. You know, Fessy, third last time out, was up the field as well until him and Tilbury had their own little ta-ta-ta. So I think for Van der Land's sort of point now, this is where Bart can really turn around and go, well, yeah, I'm here and I'm in the top 11, but I'm not going to make it easy for you. And I think he just needs to really kind of stamp his foot down. The problem is for Van der Land, this long straightaway doesn't give him much of an option to do that.
The situation for Van der Land is that he's over 6 seconds behind the next car ahead of him, which is Joe Lucas. So he might as well fight it out with Simon Fessy if he knows he's not going to be fighting with anyone further up ahead. And there goes Simon Fessy, and that was not the most difficult overtake to get done through San Donato.
No, and that's what I mean. When you're on the straightaway going into turn one like that, you're a bit of a sitting duck because of the overspeed. But I will like to just pick up here on this Brent Ruiz and Lee Aberdeen situation. Aberdeen was quicker last time out by 11 hundredths of a second. Then you've got Ruiz a tenth and a bit, a tenth and a half. Then on 16, he's pulled back another 3 hundredths. He's slowly pulling Aberdeen in. If he can find himself in that draft in the next couple of laps, there's no saying that Ruiz can't go out. He's won the championship once as well, so he's no sort of stranger to being up this front end of the field.
No, well, Aberdeen posted the fast start of the race. Aberdeen posted a 35.
Oh, no. Just talking.
Yeah, Cornu and Mackenzie. This is a Arabiata 2. Mackenzie going off the road. Hopefully he's not had it.
Yeah, he managed to hold it, but it was a little bit of an excursion there for John Mackenzie.
Yeah. Well, what I can say now is that Brent Ruiz has posted his personal best lap of the race. I think the one he set before was better, but it was not valid. So I wonder if he may have picked up a track limits violation on the way, which will be something to keep an eye out on later on. Aberdeen, well, this race win is not sewn up by any means, but you can see how hard Brent Ruiz is pushing at every corner of every lap to just keep Aberdeen honest. He wants a race of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. For him, he needs to be climbing and trying to close in. He got another 6 tenths last time for Ruiz, so he is slowly pulling him in. Start getting into the draft roughly round about 4 tenths here. So he's going to be in that area. He knows now, he's followed Aberdeen for long enough. He's going to know where Aberdeen is quicker, and he knows where he needs to quicken the pace. We've got Matthew Gracie, Salito, Townsma, Amos all down here. They're all unfortunately converging slowly onto John McHutchinson. They're about 3 seconds back. John's battled his way back into the top 20 from his spin that put him all the way down the order. But you can see Townsma, Salito and Gracie, they're having a nice little ding-dong on lap 19.
They are. Mackenzie's back through on Cornu, for your information, James, and he's back into what is 14th position. But we're looking at the battle involving Talsma, who's in 22nd. You've got Giovanni Salito and Matthew Gracie. Gracie all over the back of Salito, who's the only Italian driver in the field, believe it or not. And he's got his mirrors full of the American in the 707, who's made up 13 positions from his starting spot, has Gracie. So credit to him there. And we are right on board with Salito as he takes us through the right-hander that undulates, that is Corintau, and it's the Biondetti corners of 1 and 2, and it's Pacini, the last corner. How does he tackle the last corner? Can he get within range to make a lunge on Telsma on the exit here? It's reasonable. You can see how much of a wider line he's taken just to help him give him that extra speed all the way down the straight. That's the kind of momentum you want. Yeah,
and you can see he slingshotted round that corner as well. He absolutely came and slingshotted his way through. Giovanni Salito does manage to make it through. Does he manage to close the door on him going into 1? Yep, absolutely. Job done for Giovanni Salito, and Adam Townsman now going to be after him. Salito now setting after, I should say, Eddie Amos. So Amos is now going to use that period to try and escape. Jonathan Cazzola looks like he's had more drama as Joseph Mark Lucas is after Carvial. At the same time, we're here with Mark Lucas closing in at a rapid rate of knots. Another battle for the final top 10 spot. Robert Ridgway's darts. Right up, sir. How are you? Hope you are well.
The Aberdeen posting a new fastest up of the race, 135.6. That was nearly 3/10 faster than what Brent Maurice did on that same lap. We're looking at Joe Lucas, who is going to be sending one probably around the outside of Fran Carvajal, who have not spoken too much since the start. And Lucas is through at last and into ninth position.
He's coming back in a bit. Oh, he's hit him.
He's hit him. That's naughty.
Oh, Carvajal literally got overtaken. And then I don't know what happened after that. He just literally just... Let's see if we can go back a little bit on that one, because unfortunately he shot Joseph Mark Lucas off here. Bang! I don't know. Yeah. I don't really know, though, Tom. The problem with that is, was there contact, or was there a big old gap in the middle? As he comes on the inside, no, there wasn't contact. The internet did play its part, but it definitely does look like there would have been anyway. And unfortunately for him, shoots him off the side of the circuit. Adam Townsback, Matthew Gracie gets turn one completely wrong, loses a bunch of time there. So we'll go back up to Denny Corner with John McKenzie, who will swap back once again. 8-inch net code, bummer. Yeah, absolutely. There was there, you can see it. Great as always when watching JP with popcorn butter in hand. That's sweet and salted popcorn, I think Mr. Ridgway's trying to tell us in YouTube chat there.
Look, leave that for him to answer. I think Loris Baylor, who was running in the top 20, he's dropped down a number of positions, James, and we might be able to get a replay of him to see what had actually gone on. He's dropped down another place, so yeah, he's definitely had problems on this lap. Has Loris in the 369 for the Spark Up 2 racing team. And so Cornu and Mackenzie still going at it. It wouldn't be at all surprising to see Mackenzie go back through on this occasion, given the number of times these two have had switcheroos with each other.
Yeah, Postfer and Edwards looks like they've been having a right little bit of a ding-dong, both from going off together and coming back on together. Can't see nothing about Baylor, though, mind you. That's where Amos passed him. Is he sat on the side of the circuit? Is he just disconnected? Well, there Amos has gone past him now, so I'm guessing he might have just disconnected, I think. There's John McCutchinson passing him. Is he on the racetrack? He is. There goes John there. Boris is still running here, but all of a sudden I can't see what he's got himself up to. Must have got himself in something there, as Mackenzie and Cornu providing the action for 13th and 14th place. Only less than that now, about 1.5 tenths between them.
Well, you don't need the gap to know where these two are, how far they are from each other. You can just see on your picture. Aberdeen stretched out the gap more now on Maurice. Maurice really is dropping back. The last lap that he has just done was not very good at all. Over 8 tenths slower than what Aberdeen had posted. And it looks like he's content to be finishing second here. Yeah,
it definitely does on that one. As Mr. Ridgway gives us more nicknames. Dodera the Delfino, let's go. He is sitting in 6th, trying to close back down onto a little bit rank on, but he has got Dennis Vogel for company, as I'm just about to watch an overtake from Mackenzie on Denny Cornu again. If he can pull that draft in, 1.5, there we go. Where's Cornu going to go? He's not going to go anywhere. He's going to hold that outside line. And Mackenzie does slot back through again. So a great move from John Mackenzie. Runs a little bit wide on the exit. Cornu looks at coming back up. Nope, nothing doing. Through the right left-hander a 2, through the right-hander a 3, and another great job. Dodera and Vogel. Nope. Dodera is in pit lane.
Yep, he's hit trouble, James. I don't know what's happened, but it looks like he's either had a spin of his own or he's made contact with someone.
Look at this, Robert. As you say, oh, ow. There's only 2 wheels on that wagon.
Yeah, that's a huge shame, because that was the best race I've seen from him in a long time.
Yeah, and that's Robert Ridgway's fault in YouTube chat there. Completely taking it away from the commentators. Gaps starting appearing now. You can see there's only a few people with under that second mark to the people in front. And one of them is Gracie and Townsma as they continue to fight out. Aberdeen, lap 24, all on his own. 1.2 to Brent Ruiz, who Ruiz did get the gap back down and then unfortunately drifted away again. Jimenez has had a pretty much lonely race. He's been trying to escape from the Luca Brani Rancon Vogel battle. There was other people involved in that. Tilbury and Simon Fessi were all involved in that earlier on, and now that has settled back down again. And well, Jimenez is 2.2 seconds ahead of all of them. So yeah, not really a lot happening up front, to be honest with you, Tom. They're all nearly a second apart from each other.
Well, they are, but they'll be coming up to back markers very, very shortly. So if we go to Lee Aberdeen, we may be able to see whether he's about to come up to any back markers.
No, he's miles away.
They're miles away. Okay, so I may be thinking ahead. But he just needs to just keep it on the island now. Does Aberdeen not make any more mistakes? I think it's just got through a back marker, thinking of it. And it's sandwiched between and Rees.
Yeah, that's Josh Edwards. But before he gets to Goyette, Goyette is literally on his way through Biondetti 2. And Aberdeen is just coming into Corinteo, so he's got a little bit of time to go. Gracie and Townsma side by side going down into turn one. Townsma is going to hold it. Gracie runs wide, steady, and unfortunately for Matthew Gracie, loses a place to Giovanni Salito. So he goes on the attack and he comes out, unfortunately, a position down.
It appears that San Donato is not Matthew Gracie's favourite corner, because we've seen him run too deep into that corner a few times in this race, or at least we have seen on the broadcast. But yeah, I don't think it's been the best race for Matthew Gracie, although it feels to him he's made up a lot of positions, 17 positions from where he started.
Oh, Cornu, got that. The car's already out of shape.
Yeah.
That come out of shape a lot earlier as well. If you have a look, he got it all a little bit wrong here. The back end was sliding. He's opposite locking, trying to hold it. You see it lock into place again. And then, unfortunately, it was just always uncomfortable for Denny Cornu to try and hold on to that. So it is sort of what it is. Vogel, unfortunately, dear sir, you have got Ludovic Rancon closing in. Marbles are closing in as well. You saw it round that corner of Pogiasego. The marble line is literally leaving it onto the driver's line. That's it. That's about as much room as they've got here.
Yeah, and Carvajal's lost a position to Ian. I think Ian has just had a bit of a connection issue, but he's gone into 7th place now. It's been quite a decent race for Bahadin Ian in... Well, I can't remember the colour livery of that machine, given he's quite a newbie, actually.
Yeah, I think it's his actually first race of the season. I've not seen him before. So, Bahadin Ian.
It's a gorgeous livery, though. I will give him that, James. You know, it's almost picturesque of the Sauber, isn't it?
Yeah. Some people may say they don't like it. Mohamed Abasi and Ben Goyette having a nice little battle. That's actually Mohamed and Mohamed and Ben Goyette. Sorry, I got thrown off by Mohamed's livery there. I thought I was looking at Eddie Amos. Yeah. That's what I was like, hold on a minute, what's going on? No, it was a Mohamed there, and Ben Goyette has been just cleared through. You can see Rancon now right on the back of Vogel as they're going down into turn number one. Is Rancon going to take that dive? He's looking like he is. Nope, thought about it, tuck back in.
Yeah, and if you want to know anything about Eddie Amos, well, he's running in 17th position behind the Scotsman John Hutchison, who's going after Denny Cornu. The gap between those two is less than 4 seconds. So has Hutchison got enough time to close in on Cornu in the remaining laps?
Well, we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, whether or not he is able to get there. So keep an eye out. We will keep an eye out at the same time to see whether or not John McHutchinson can get a 1.4. Going to be tough over 3 laps. John not looking completely comfortable. Rancon, however, is looking like he's going to close in on Vogel. I think Vogel could have a tough 3 lap here.
Yeah, we'll wait and see between these two, between Vogel and Rancon, who've had brilliant races in this, and they are hoping they just get to the end without creating too much drama between the pair of them. And they are into the closing stages now, and I would imagine that Rancon, if he can take that wider line into Bacchini, that'll give him the extra speed down the straight. But it looks like Vogel's read into that and he's taken the wider line. But the problem with that is it'll be easier for Ranson to get into the slipstream. There he goes.
Yeah. Ludovic Rancon has gone through. There goes Vogel. Rancon going to make it all the way down into turn one. Is he going to come back at us, though? Nope. Vogel nestles back in again. So, yeah, that was a great move and job done. McCutcheon is under pressure, and there is a reason why he's under pressure. He has had a little bit of an incident, and Giovanni Solito says, thank you very much. I will make the most of that. And this is what McCutcheon did. Oh, he's already out of shape. He's coming round sliding. There you go.
Yeah.
John.
Just avoiding Eddie Amos as a consequence. Yeah, and I'd imagine he'll have screeched those tyres as well. It goes, I don't know if he said it, but I think he was saying about how long the tyres were expecting to last around this circuit in these machines. Well, he's done very well to get as far as he has done, but that spin won't have helped, and that will have hurt the tyres.
Yeah, definitely. He's only got 2 more laps there. Giovanni Solito must have had a slowdown problem. Or is that Townsend just getting the run around the outside? It looks like Townsend did not get the run around the outside. And it looks like he has made a little bit of drama for himself, because he's now got Gracie back in again here on the marbles. No grip there, and Townsend really struggling. Gracie's going to make the most of it through the right hand. He's got the inside line for the next one. If he can bring it tight, he can. Allow Townsend space through the Casanova Savelli, the right and left. There goes the right, coming into the left. Townsend again. Oh, Gracie sweeps past and definitely says no.
A very nice battle between those two. Even though it's for 19th position, they're still fighting towards the end. Penultimate lap of the race then for Lee Aberdeen. Just posting another new fast lap of the race at 1:35.5. That was around about 6 cents faster than what his rival Brent Maurice has done. That battle is very much over for this race, unless Aberdeen makes the daftest of mistakes. But it's not often we see Aberdeen make mistakes anyway. After all, he has finished in the top 3 in every single race so far this season. 2 wins, a second and a third. And it's going to be 3 wins from 5 in this particular championship, the iGPFun Super Foimer for the first season of 2025.
Yeah, Lee Aberdeen looking very, very strong there. Fessy closing in on Carvial. Is he going to be able to make it, though? For Simon Fessy, dropped back about half a second. But Lee Aberdeen just absolutely dominating this. I agree, Mackenzie Rooney, it's not my favourite circuit, but I'm sure it is other people's. Townsend and Gracie side by side down into turn 1. Townsend going to be able to hold that outside line. Nope. Now Gracie's got to make a decision, either close him off or run it too wide. He's ran it too wide. Gracie sweeps through, manages to hold on to the position. That is basically a second swap, a third swap, should we say, as Townsend dived up the inside once. Gracie come back at him, and then Townsend went again. Or Townsend went, then Gracie, and Gracie got him. So great job there from them. But yeah, coming into the final lap now, and Lee Aberdeen absolutely dominated.
He has. And we are seeing a battle from Simon Fessy going through on Fran Carvajal, who I'd imagine may be under a little bit of... He may be under investigation after the race for his overtakes on the first lap. And there you go. Oh, contact between Carvajal and Fessy as they go towards San Donato. That was very close to the pair of them going off. Well, in fact, Fessy's come off worse than that.
Yeah, he did, unfortunately. A little bit of contact between the two. Coming down into one. Carvajal come over, back across, and just about, he tucks in, sweeps Fessy the other way, and then he's going to try and go no line there whatsoever. I'm not even sure where Carvajal was going. There was definitely no line into turn 1. He covered him right off, but Lee Aberdeen is absolutely flying, coming through BMW 2. He's got one more corner to go. Lee Aberdeen looks like he's going to take the win here. He's done a great job. No real dramas through Bricini for the final time. Lee Aberdeen takes this victory coming down here at Mugello, and he takes the win by 3.8 seconds from Lee Aberdeen. Absolutely spectacular. Then you've got Brent Ruiz in second place. Good job from him. Tony Jimenez holding on to third, and Luca Barani with a great fourth place. And then Daniel Vogel is going to lead over Rancon, there, Iron Fessy. Yeah, this Carvel may be up for a little bit of a discussion on that one, but Eddie Amos is battling with Denny Cornu on the final lap, and they've still got half a lap to go.
Well, Cornu will not be very happy with his performance, and Eddie Amos will feel that he can just snatch 15th place from him. I mean, Eddie Amos was involved in that collision in the second lap, I think it was, involving Clark Williams and Darren Matcha-Bivunga, but he's somehow recovered to the position he's at. He could just see how slow Cornu is out of those corners, hence why Amos got off the racing line. It could well be a drag race to the line. Cornu taking a wider line. Amos's line wasn't very good either. So Cornu should be able to hold on here to 15th position. But all in all, it has been a race to forget for the Frenchman.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we've got Gracie closing in on Townsmere. These are another couple that have been going for it all the way through. Giovanni Salito did manage to break away from the pack as he goes over the line. Gracie looking like he's going to settle in behind Townsmere. Of course, the finishing line right down the end. Oscar Artinanu coming over in 20th, and Ben Goyette will be the last of the finishers in 21st place for MRP. And then once they've done that, we'll bring you up the results. So hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Give us 2 seconds, and then we'll be able to bring you the results here of this evening's racing. And Lee Aberdeen is your winner. Brent Ruiz in second and Tony Jimenez in third. Then you've got Luca Varani, Daniel Vogel in fourth and fifth. Then Ludovic Rancon, Bearden, and Simon Fessy, Fran Carvajal in ninth, Bart-Jan van der Lent 10th, and Fabard Rabelard in 11th. Then you've got John McKenzie down in 12th, Juan Moreno in 13th, Gene Carvajal in 14th, and Denny Cornu down in 15th. Not good from Denny for Unity Racing. Eddie Amos in 16th, Giovanni Salito 17th, then you've got Adam Townsend, Matthew Gracie, Oscar Artinano rounding out the top 20. Ben Goyette and Abisi Mohammed in 22nd, and Josh Edwards in 23rd, Didier Savard in 24th, and Andy Flint 1 lap down in 25th place. Sean Pulsifer in 26th. Ali Nasur 1 lap down in 27th. Then you've got Jonathan Cazzola, Loris Baylor, John McHutchison, Stephen Dodderer, Joseph Mark Lucas, Zoltan Zamoda, Chris Patel, Robert Tilbury didn't finish. Dorian Oruro didn't finish either. Then we've got Stephen Brown behind that. Darren Makabavanga and Clark Williams are the non-finishers. Not a classic, Tom, I think we can safely say on that one.
There wasn't an awful lot compared to other races that we've seen. I mean, the best one I've seen was probably last season at Fuji in the wet, where it was so chaotic all the way through. I think in this one we did see chaos, but nothing like what we saw in Fuji. But there are a lot of other events to come in this championship, looking at where they are going to. They are staying in Italy, and it's to the Temple of Speed at Monza.
Absolutely. So I look forward to that one. Don't forget, guys, if you are new here, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That would be absolutely amazing. We've got a lot more racing coming up, and I do mean a lot more. We've got 2 more coming up this evening, so join us for the Super SR4S are back for their round 1. Funny enough, they're at Mugello. That's with myself and Alex Goldschmidt. And then you've got the Triple Bypass and NG Series is back with Dean Biggles and Jim Cunningham a little bit later on. And then join us tomorrow as we've got Tanzo's GT3, the SR8 Championship. Autobahn is back as well. FDL Season 1 from round 1 from Suzuka for their Super Formula Light Series coming back on Tuesday morning. So a lot of action happening on JPB this week alone. And I bet there you go, guys. This one's going to wrap it up. I hope to see some of you later on. And as always, guys, for myself, I've been JB. I've been alongside Tom Cairns. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.